Good afternoon. I'm Brendan Doherty.
I'm Kylie Crocus, and this is the Voice of Duquesne Live. Now in sports. Duquesne Swimming and Diving celebrated Senior Day in dominant fashion Saturday afternoon, cruising to a 156-85 victory over St. Bonaventure at Towers Pool and Carnegie Mellon. The Dukes posted 21 top 3 finishes, including 10 gold medals, 2 silver, and 9 bronze across the meet. Duquesne opened with a strong showing in the 200 medley relay as the team of sophomore Sierra Snow, senior Sydney Severini, sophomore Ashley Friel, and freshman Lucy Backus captured first in a minute and 45 seconds. Severini led the way in the 200 individual medley, touching first in 2 minutes and 7 seconds, with freshman Kiera Schreckengus taking bronze in 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Severini followed with a win in the 100 breaststroke as Jess Burns finished second. Backus captured gold in the 50 free, and Friel swept the 100 fly and 100 back. Rachel Howard added a first-place finish in the 100 free, and the relay of Connors, Howard, Burns, and Backus won the 200 free relay in a minute and 35 seconds. The meet closed with the 400 free relay, where Duquesne took both first and third. Connors, Backus, Snow, and Friel won in 3 minutes and 32.78 seconds, while Howard, freshman Emily Kyer, Lexi Sundgren, and senior Katie Simpson placed third in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. On the boards, senior Ashley Flitsky led the divers with a second-place finish on the 1 meter, while graduate student Lola Dragosovic took third. Flitsky added a bronze on the 3 meter, with Brianne Dempsey fourth and Dragosovic fifth. The diving team returns February 7th at Clarin, while the swimming squad heads to the Atlantic 10 Championships from February 18th until the 21st.
The Duquesne men and women's tennis teams were in action last Saturday at Buffalo. Duquesne men's tennis dropped a 7-0 decision to the Bulls. Buffalo took an early lead in doubles, winning at number 1 and number 2, and Buffalo carried that momentum into singles, sweeping all 6 matches. The Duquesne men's teams return to action Saturday, February 7th, hosting Ashland at the Oxford Athletic Club at 3 p.m. The women's team also struggled against the Bulls and fell to a 6-1 decision, moving to 1-4 on the season. The Bulls took the early edge in doubles, winning at number 1 and number 3, and Buffalo carried that momentum into singles, winning 5 of 6 matches. Arnez Guiarte recorded Duquesne's lone point at number 5 in a 3-set battle. Things only got worse for the Duquesne's women's tennis team as they fell in Ohio 7-0 to Toledo on Sunday afternoon, dropping to 1-3 on the season. Toledo took the doubles point after winning at number 1 and number 3, while Duquesne won 6-1 at number 2. In singles, Toledo swept all 6 matches and secured the final point by forfeit at number 6 to close out the dismantling. Duquesne returns to action Saturday, February 7th, hosting Ashland at the Oxford Athletic Club.
For the first time in 37 days, fans at the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse saw a win. Last Sunday, the Dukes men's basketball team took down Rhode Island, improving the 12-10 overall and 4-5 in conference play. Duquesne used a dominant second-half run and a lights-out performance at the free throw line to pull away. Senior guard Terrence Ginyard helped ignite a late run with a putback layup before going coast-to-coast after a steal, while redshirt junior Brandon Hall capped the surge with a three-pointer just before the shot clock expired to push the lead to 70-54. Head coach Drew Joyce III highlighted the defensive shift, saying, "The mindset was different. Terrence Ginyard was picking up full court. Our zone was strong throughout the game. If you can control the glass, you just give yourself a good opportunity of controlling the possessions." Junior guard Jimmy Williams led all scorers with 22 points on 6-for-6 shooting from the free throw line, adding 9 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block in his 17th straight double-figure outing. Duquesne shot a season-high 90.9% from the line. That's 20 for 22, with Alex Williams and Jakob Neches, each going 4 for 4 at the charity line. Next up for the Dukes was a trip to Fairfax, Virginia last night, where they beat to George Washington 71-65. Duquesne will return home to the Cooper Fieldhouse this Saturday for a matchup with George Washington at 2 p.m.
LaSalle used a red-hot second half to hand Duquesne's women's basketball a 77-61 loss Saturday afternoon at the UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse, dropping the Dukes to a 7-15 overall and 0-11 record in A10 play. Duquesne trailed 25-21 at the break and opened the second half on an 8-5 run, capped by a three from sophomore Mackenzie Blackford that pulled the Dukes within 1 point of the lead. This was the closest they've been to a lead without the score being 0-0 in a very long time. The Explorers opened the final quarter on a 10-3 run and followed with an 11-5 surge to push the lead to 66-51, with Duquesne only able to cut the margin slightly on late baskets from freshmen Alexis Bordas and Harriet Ford. Head coach Dan Burt said the game was a microcosm of our season, pointing to missed layups, poor rebounding, and breakdowns on defense that allowed LaSalle's top players to get clean looks from three. He added that a lot of game slippage from practice and a lot of low IQ basketball plays have kept the team from meeting its own expectations. Duquesne now heads into a desperately needed bye week before traveling to St. Bonaventure, where they will try to win on Saturday, February 7th for a 1 p.m. tip-off. Now, let's head over to Kylie Crocus with this week's weather.
Thanks, guys. So let's take a look at the weather coming up. We've had a lot of cold weather recently, so let's hope it goes in our favor. Let's take a look. Starting tomorrow, we're going to have a 65% chance of rain and snow. I jinxed it. With a high of 27 and a low of 14. Moving into this weekend, it's going to be cloudy skies with a high of 20 and a low of 2. And then Sunday to end off the weekend, Super Bowl Sunday, get excited. We're going to have cloudy skies once again and a high of 20 and a low of 0. Starting off our school week, we're going to have cloudy skies again, high of 32 and a low of 10, so we're getting a little higher. Tuesday, we're going to have cloudy skies with a high of 36 and a low of 23. Moving into Wednesday, cloudy skies again with a high of 36 and a low of 28. And then finishing it off on Thursday, 35% chance of snow with a high of 36 and a low of 27. Now let's move over to our friends over in Rome, Italy. They're having a lot of rain this week, but much warmer temperatures than us, so I'm still, again, always going to be a little jealous of the people over in Rome. Friday, tomorrow, they're going to have cloudy, more than cloudy, 95% chance of rain. Moving into their weekend, they're going to have more rain, 80% chance with a high of 57 and a low of 47. Moving into Sunday, they're going to have an 80% chance of rain with a high of 57 and a low of 45. Starting off their week next week, they're going to have an 85% chance of rain with a high of 57 and a low of 46. Tuesday, 50% chance of rain with a high of 56 and a low of 42. Wednesday, 70% chance of rain, lots of rain. Get your umbrellas out. It's going to be a high of 59 and a low of 44. And then moving into Thursday, 65% chance of rain with a high of 59 and a low of 44. Now, let's go check over our friends at Dublin's Ireland, who actually have, get this, less rain than Rome. Tomorrow, however, there is going to be a 95% chance of rain with a high of 46 and a low of 42. Moving into their weekend in Dublin, they're going to have 65% chance of rain with a high of 48 and a low of 44. Ending off their weekend for Super Bowl Sunday, they're going to have a high of 49 and a low of 42 with some cloudy skies, but no rain. On Monday, they're going to have 70% chance of rain with a high of 48 and a low of 44. Moving into Tuesday, 75% chance of rain with a high of 50 and a low of 46. Moving into Wednesday, 75% chance of rain with a high of 50 and a low of 45. So they're still seeing much higher temperatures than we are over here in Pittsburgh, but they got lots of rain coming their way. And then Thursday, to end it off, they're going to have a 60% chance of rain with a high of 45 and a low of 42. Well, that's all of our weather, so get your umbrellas and back to you guys. Thank you, guys. So let's...
Every Tuesday night, Duquesne students gather at Laval House for Bible study. Share a meal, share your faith. This gives students an opportunity to have a home-cooked meal and time to eat together in a smaller setting and discuss scripture, which is often much needed with busy and stressful schedules. Father Bill Christie organizes the Bible study every week, cooking the food, which the students choose, organizing scripture to read, handing out discussion questions, and leading the students in prayer. Father Bill talked about how students bond through this weekly gathering, Sharing a meal before Bible study is for people to get comfortable together. When it comes time to read scripture, students are open up to each other. He feels he learns as much from the students as they learn from him. I really do get little insights about what I'm going to preach. I really want to hear how university students are reading the gospel and applying it to their lives. Debbie Kadotsky has been a campus minister at Duquesne for 26 years and been part of the Bible study for the last 7. Debbie takes the lead in many discussions and makes students feel comfortable talking about scripture in front of others. It just means the world to me to see these students who are willing to come here and share their faith. She recognizes more than anything that Bible study is a safe outlet for students during chaotic and transformational years.
Even though Duquesne has over 300 clubs, there isn't a club for everything. There might be a club that you were part of in high school that isn't offered here at Duquesne. Well, you can actually change that by starting your own club. The same way that R. Morgan Carr started the Voice of Duquesne Live, you too can go through the process to start your own club. First, of course, you need to come up with the idea of the club that you want to start, meeting times, and other important details. After that, you'll have to find at least 10 potential members and an advisor to oversee your club. Then, you'll have to have a meeting with the Center for Student Involvement, and from there, hopefully your idea for a new club will be approved. Freshman John Wolslagel is currently going through this process in the hopes to start a color guard and silks club. He said, "I wanted to start this organization because I was the first male color guard at my school. It helped me grow as a person, and I really found a passion behind the flag. So, if there's a club that you'd like to see on the bluff, make it yourself." Now, let's hand to a brand new segment that will keep you in the know of all things pop culture.
Hi, my name's Kylie.
My name is Halen, and this is the Voice of Duquesne Live's Pop Culture Recap.
So we know this is our first time doing the segment. It's a new thing that we're trying out. Basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to discuss what's going on in pop culture. We're going to cover the hot topics that people want to hear about. We as a society recently have been getting fed musically. There is tons of new music coming out. We're just going to talk about a couple, one of those being A$AP Rocky. He just dropped an album called Don't Be Dumb. It came out on January, I believe 16th, around there, middle of January. Some people didn't like it. Some people didn't like it at all. I liked it. I thought it was definitely a concept album. Some people say it feels a little rushed. A lot of people said that it was kind of just thrown together because this album was promised to listeners for the last 2 years.
Harry Styles has come out of hiding. Thank God. So Harry Styles recently released his first single in over a year, titled Aperture. People who I talked to, they also said that it wasn't their favorite, but then a lot of other people said that it was great and they had no complaints and it was the best one that he had released. So I mean, obviously mixed reviews come with everything ever that comes out, so. But his new album will be coming out March 6th, and he also announced tour dates where for some reason he's doing a 30-night residency at Madison Square Garden in New York City and not going anywhere else. And for some reason the tickets are like from $50 to over $1,000, and yeah, it's not making sense.
So the Harry Styles fans that are in the United States are going through despair. Either they're going through despair or their wallets are. So
There's no in between.
a lot of people are going through a pick your poison kind of thing right now with Harry Styles. So I'm interested to see how this album turns out and how the concert ends up. Also, speaking of Harry Styles coming out of hiding, he came out at the Grammys this year. On Sunday night.
He did, in fact.
He came out and he announced something for the Grammys.
Well, so he won Album of the Year last year, so he came back to announce Album of the Year for this year.
It was called Debí Tirar Más Fotos by Bad Bunny. It's his new album, who is also, he's performing at the Super Bowl halftime show this Sunday, so we will definitely be coming back next week and talking about that again. Also, at the Grammys, there was the Song of the Year award, which was won by Billie Eilish for her song Wildflower off of her album Hit Me Hard and Soft that came out in 2024? 25. No, it was 24.
No, it was
It was
2024.
24.
Yeah.
It was 24. I love Billie Eilish, so I was really happy to see her win, especially after getting robbed last year. Last year was rough for Billie Eilish. She didn't get any Grammys.
It was rough. And I also feel a lot of people were saying that the way that Sabrina lost this year,
The same
they
way
were comparing
Billie.
it to the way
Yeah.
Billie lost last year. I was pretty shocked that she didn't win anything.
Yeah, me too, actually. Another person that didn't win anything. I know a lot of people are very upset about this. Tyler, the Creator, he's a rapper. I think he had he had 6 Grammy nominations. 0. He got none, not a single Grammy. Which a lot of people, he was up for 2 separate albums. It was Chromacopia and Don't Tap the Glass.
Another thing that also happened during the Grammys, which I really enjoyed, was there was a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that tribute to him. I shed a tear or two, actually. They played War Pigs, I believe, and I thought that it would be Youngblood who would be doing the
I
tribute
did
because
too.
they're obviously, before Ozzy's passing, Youngblood and Ozzy were very close. Ozzy really loved Youngblood and really enjoyed his music and stuff and what he did, but it was actually Post Malone, and I didn't even know that Ozzy and Post Malone had a relationship. So.
There was another tribute for Roberta Flack, done by Lauryn Hill as well.
The Lauryn Hill.
The Lauryn Hill performed at the Grammys to do a tribute for Roberta Flack, which I also thought was just very I was excited to see her come out, and it was just very nice thing. She's very beautiful.
Yes.
Perfect harmonious voice. Category at the Grammys that everybody was really excited for was Best New Artist. Winner was Olivia Dean. Then the last category we had, one of the big categories, people call them the Big Four. The Big Four is Song of the Year, Record of the Year, Best New Artist, and Album of the Year. Those are kind of the Big Four, I would say. Record of the Year went to Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. That's kind of all we really have, so we hope you enjoyed our very first little segment of a pop culture recap. And hey, if you have anything that you want to see us talk about, find us somewhere, let us know. We will cover it next week. Yeah, but my name's Kylie.
My name is Halen.
And this was our pop
culture
culture
recap.
recap. And back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. On Monday, the Office of Mission Animation hosted Feasts on Feast Day, and the event meant to kick off Founders Week, where students could get free bagels and learn more about the events that were happening for Founders Week, as well as the history of Duquesne's Spiritan tradition. The event was thrown to both kick off Founders Week and celebrate the feast day of Francis Lieberman, one of the Spiritan founders. Mission Animation Director Lucy Jo DiMaggio said the event is a good way for students to get into the spirit of the week and to celebrate the feast day of an important Spiritan founder. There is still time to attend more Founders Week events, so make sure to keep an eye out or check Campus Link for more information.
Join the Duquesne hockey team this Sunday at 1:20 p.m. for the 3rd annual Teddy Bear Toss as the Dukes take on Robert Morris. This event honors former Dukes goaltenders coach Sean Maloney, who passed away in 2024. In 2006, Maloney was diagnosed with Stevens-Johnson syndrome, a rare skin condition. He was given just a couple of years to live. He was 53 when he passed. Maloney spent 5 years as the program's goalie coach, where he made an inspiring impact on players and coaches alike, despite his declining health. In 2024 interview with the Duquesne Duke head coach Conrad Waite called his impact on the team immeasurable. This year, the student package includes transportation to and from the game and a ticket to the game. The first 40 students who purchased the package had a chance to attend the Build Your Own Bear event last night in the night spot with the Student Government Association. The game will take place at the Alpha Ice Complex, home of Duquesne and Pitt hockey, and tickets not already pre-purchased will be available at the door. We'll have more coverage on this next week.
Recent changes have been made to the on-campus residence hall for the incoming year. Viceroy Hall will finally be open to upcoming sophomores. The style of the rooms will include a regular double or a suite with Jack and Jill bathrooms. Students are very excited for this. However, many students are also very nervous since it will probably be in very high demand. Some more changes that have been made were to Desplois, St. Anne's, and Assumption. As of next year, Desplois will now be mainly for honor students for 2, 4, or 6-person suites with semi-private bathrooms. Assumption will now be for anyone who wants a double or a single dorm. St. Anne's will also not be available for freshmen in the incoming year. Whether they will be renovating it or completely getting rid of it is to be determined. St. Martin's will be staying the same, as well as Brodier and McGinley. Here are some important dates regarding housing for returning students who plan on rooming in either Towers, Des Plaines, St. Martin, Viceroy, and Assumption. Housing information sessions are being offered February 3rd through the 5th from 1 to 3 p.m. in building lobbies. Open houses for Towers and Des Plaines will be on February 11th at 6 p.m. in building lobbies. Need a roommate session on March 10th, it'll be at 9 p.m. in the Towers multipurpose room. Room selection deposits and agreements are due March 16th, with lottery numbers being shared March 18th. The week of March 23rd will be time for room selection. For those who are planning on applying for Brodier or McGinley, your room selections will be February 17th through the 21st virtually. For more information, be sure to check out Duke Res Life on Instagram, and for any questions, make sure to contact Student Housing and Residence Life at orl@duke.edu.
Student government met on January 28th to share updates and plan upcoming events. Career Development spoke about resources like Handshake, the February 11th Career Fair, and a new Career Ambassador program for students. They approved the previous meeting minutes and heard updates from SGA leaders. Several events were announced, including Candygrams, a Build-A-Bear event with the hockey team, a mindfulness night on February 4th, Founders Week, and a hot cocoa pop-up. Senate elections were also discussed. Election Day is March 18th, and election packets will be released soon. Committees shared progress on planning events, updating the SGA Constitution, and preparing for the night market. The Duke Catholic Medical Association student chapter was approved as a new organization. During open forum, senators raised concerns about campus safety, including icy sidewalks and depot traffic direction.
Orientation 2026 is right around the corner, and Duquesne orientation team has been working hard already to prepare for the big week. Our Morgan Carr sat down with the 2026 director, Mary Paternoster, to dive deeper.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Mary Paternoster, who is the Director of Orientation for 2026. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So just let's talk about yourself. Really tell us, who are you? What's your major?
So, of course, my name is Mary. I am a junior secondary education and English major. I'm from Melbourne Beach, Florida, so a little a ways from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's wasn't my home for the beginning of my life, but definitely my home now. I am involved a lot on campus, as you said, orientation. I'm also a member of SGA, Duke-a-thon. I'm in a sorority, Delay. I really am someone who's always loved to be involved, and I like to do everything I can. That's always how I've been. And Duquesne is an amazing place to do that, because the community is so small and it's so special, and you get to know everyone in so many different ways. And it means a lot to me. I've always been someone who's searched for community and things, especially when I was choosing a college campus, and Duquesne was just perfect. It showed me everything that I wanted it to be.
Wonderful. So exactly what is your role within the organization of orientation?
Yeah, so I am the director this year, and what that means is I oversee everything. So we have a staff of 24 people. It's me, my assistant director, and then we have 22 other chairpersons who are all broken up into their different groups, like entertainment chairpersons, Bergbuck Media, who all have different roles within orientation. And my job and the job of my assistant director is to oversee all of them, make sure that everything's on track, set up the year, set up the schedule, give them their tasks. But then also, we work very closely with administration to work on matriculation and figuring out move-in day. So we are just kind of the overseers that kind of get the gears spinning.
Yeah. And how did you know that you wanted to do orientation, and kind of what was your kind of layout of how you got up to director?
Yeah. Okay, so as I said, I love to get involved. So when I came onto campus for the first time, I didn't know anyone, and I only knew my roommate, and orientation was happening all around us. And I remember saying to my roommate, I was like, those people, the team leaders, I want to do that next year. I've never been here before. It's my first day on campus, but I was like, I want to do that. That seems really fun. And applications came out, and my roommate and I became team leaders together. I absolutely loved the program. I knew that I wanted to get involved even more and to apply as a chairperson, because during orientation, the leaders talk to us and they explain their roles, and they tell us that we have the opportunity to apply to be a chair, apply to be assistant director, which assistant director is a 2-year commitment because you're assistant director and then you automatically become the director. And I told myself all week, I was like, I'll apply to be a chair, but I'm not going to apply to assistant director because, like, who am I to deserve that? Like, this is such a big role. I don't see myself being the person for this, but I do want to be a chair. And all throughout the week, that's what I said, until the last night they do a farewell dinner for all the team leaders and all of the staff that made orientation happen. And Chrissy Bober, who was my director while I was assistant director, spoke because she was stepping into her new role. And something about what she said about her why and why we do orientation. We don't do it for ourselves. We don't do it for our friends. We do it for these new students that we don't know. We're doing it so that they have a safe space on campus and that they feel welcomed. And that just resonated a lot with me because, like I said, I'm from Florida. I came in knowing no one, and I was looking to make Duquesne my home, and that is exactly how the orientation program made me feel. And in that moment, I stopped telling myself, like, Mary, you're not good enough for this role. I started telling myself, Mary, like, this is the role that you were made for, because that is your why too. Like, you are here to help everyone feel as comfortable and help people find their home. So I applied for the assistant director position, and it is a series of interviews that happened over a span of 4 weeks, and I got the position, and it was the most exciting day of my life. And I got to spend all of last year taking in what orientation means and how to best serve, like, as a leader, and then here I am.
Yeah, well, it certainly sounds like you found the perfect role for you. And so you talk a lot about your why and these team leaders, and what exactly do the team leaders mean to this organization?
The team leaders are everything to orientation. Like I said, I oversee, but orientation could not run without the team leaders. They are the backbone. They're the faces of Duquesne. They're the heart of what orientation is. Like, if we didn't have them, there would be no program. And they do so much. I loved being a team leader, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever done. And I look at them in awe every single year. They move in the students. They take all the students' things up to their rooms. They are assigned groups of new students to kind of lead and help and support. And then they run all the events. We set them up and we make sure all the materials are there, but the team leaders are the ones who show up and make sure they are running smoothly constantly. So all week they're up just like us, day and night, making sure the new students have what they need. They're making sure that everything's running smoothly, and they're just everywhere ready to do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah. Why would you say that a person should get involved and be a team leader?
Oh, goodness. I just think it's a really eye-opening experience, because what I've learned from talking to different people about orientation is we've all had different experiences with it. I personally loved it, and that's the reason I wanted to be a team leader, but some people hated their orientation experience, and because of that, they wanted to be a team leader to make sure students didn't have that same one. So I think it's something that is really important for everyone, because it helps you not only meet new people, but understand that everyone is coming into the school and coming into the position of a TL or as a new student from different places and for different reasons. And being able to learn about those different reasons and being able to help people and meet them where they are and walk with them at the beginning of their journey, I just think really fits into what we're called to do as Duquesne students along with our mission. And I think it just benefits everyone no matter what their future is going to look like.
Yeah, and how can someone get involved to be a team leader?
Yeah, well, it's really, really easy, actually. On Campus Link, we just put out our team leader application. It's super easy, very simple, a few little questions. And once you apply, I think our applications close on Valentine's Day. A team leader applicant will receive an email to sign up for a quick 5-minute interview with me, my assistant director, Megan, and then some of our chair staff. And then after that, they will be notified whether they have gotten the position or not. It's a very, very simple application process.
Yeah, thank you. And so just why is orientation so important?
Orientation is so important for so many reasons. It's important to us at Duquesne because there is no school that does anything like it. It makes us unique. It makes Duquesne stand out from everyone else. But also, kind of as I mentioned before, students are coming into Duquesne from so many different walks of life. Maybe their parents went here, so they're following like a legacy, or maybe they're from out of state, they've never heard of Duquesne before, and it just seemed like the place for them because of an academic program. But orientation allows all of these students and all of these team leaders and chairs and just people who make up the Duquesne community to meet each other. And it helps solidify Duquesne as not only your campus for the next 4 years, but as a home where you are supported and you are seen for who you are as an individual. And you know that no matter what happens, like, you have a team around you that wants to uplift you on your journey here.
Yeah. And you talk a lot about this team, and I know that you and your chairs all go on a retreat together. And so can you kind of just tell me about that?
Yes, so the Bedford Retreat has been an orientation tradition for probably about, I want to say 13 to 20 years now. Don't fact check me, I'm not sure. It's been longer than 10 years. But what we do, the theme of orientation is always a representation of like what we want the year to look like for the students, or something that we feel embodies Duquesne's mission. So like last year it was individually recognized, collectively supported, because we felt that at Duquesne you are not just a number and you aren't just a name on a page or a person sitting in a lecture hall of 200. You are seen for what makes you you. You are seen for your passions and your interests and what you want your future to look like. And we wanted the students to know that, like, hey, when you come into Duquesne, you're going to be supported as Morgan. You're not going to be supported as, you know, a liberal arts student. Like, you are individualized. So we go to Bedford, and it helps us bond as a team because we are going to be working together for the next about, 8 months. And it allows us to sit and talk in a room all together for as long as it takes to all agree on a theme that we want to present the new students. Like, this is their first impression of what Duquesne is going to be, our little phrase and our logo. So it's a really, really big deal to us because not only does it strengthen us as a team, but it also kind of sets the course for what this upcoming year is going to look like.
Yeah. And now, all of orientation, there's so many events, there's so many components. What is your favorite part about orientation?
Oh gosh, that's such a hard question. There's so many things. I think my favorite part about orientation is when we are in the midst of it and all the students are on campus and I just get to step back for a second and watch it all happen. Because I am someone, I love to talk. I'm very extroverted and I like to be in the middle of things. But it doesn't really hit you until you're observing and seeing the new students, the team leaders, the chairs, the faculty, all connecting and all talking and all like forming these authentic relationships that are going to shape their next 4, 5, 6, however many years they decide to stay here. So I think my favorite part is just when we have big events, especially things that are happening out on AWOC, like Picnic on the Patio or the student expos, when all of the students and all of these different organizational leaders and faculty and staff are together and just being able to see us be a Duquesne community.
Yeah. And so, just to wrap it up, what is one thing that you want everyone to know about orientation or Orientation 2026 specifically?
Oh gosh. Well, it's going to be a great one. Our team is growing rapidly and we are just so excited. But I think what I want everyone to know is that no matter whether you are a new student coming in or you are going into your sophomore year and you experience your orientation, or if you work here and maybe you didn't even graduate from Duquesne, that you have a family within orientation. Orientation is a part of who we are. It's a part of what we do. No matter how far removed you are from it, it's for everyone and it's a family for everyone.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So stay tuned for more updates on orientation. And now back to you guys.
Thank you, Morgan. Now from Provost Dawsey's Academic Insights. All faculty and staff are invited to attend the Spring Career Fair, featuring more than 80 employers from a range of industries and sectors eager to connect with Duquesne students and alumni. Come connect with employers in fields that are of interest to your students, align with your programs, and who may be potential partners for programs, classroom presentations, or class projects. Also, please consider attending the employer reception at 5:15 p.m. immediately following the career fair in the Duquesne Union Africa Room. The Office of Research and Innovation's annual Graduate Research and Scholarship Symposium will be held on March 18th in the Power Center Ballroom. The symposium is an opportunity for DU grad students from all disciplines to present their research and other forms of scholarship with faculty, peers, and the local community. Please encourage your graduate students to attend and to submit their abstracts by the February 9th deadline. Hacking for Humanity is a tech and policy hackathon that offers students a new way to engage with real-world social problems that can be improved with novel technical and policy solutions. This year's theme is Challenging AI Injustice, Building Ethical Futures. Any undergraduate and graduate students currently enrolled at a college or university in the Pittsburgh region can participate. H4H 2026 will be held from February 6th to February 20th.
All are invited to attend the Center for Migration, Displacement, and Community Studies Faculty Research Award Lecture. This year's recipient, Dr. Min Geiger, Assistant Professor of Management in the Palumbo Donahue School of Business, will be giving her lecture, Non-Native English Speakers in the Workplace, Past, Present, and Future, in the Africa Room on February 10th from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. The lecture is open to the public and refreshments will be served. Applications are now being accepted for the annual Eugene P. Beard Presidential Prizes for Innovation and Distinction. Faculty and administrators are invited to submit proposals focused on advancing innovative and/or distinctive initiatives centered on one or more of the qualifying funding priorities, which include and are limited to programs and initiatives advancing the College of Osteopathic Medicine, advancing the Center for Integrative Health, focus on arts and culture, or special initiative proposed by the university president to advance rare yet extraordinary strategic opportunities. The deadline for proposals is February 27th. All proposals should be submitted to the Beard Prizes coordinator, Dr. Bridget Calhoun, at calhoun@duke.edu. I'm Kylie Crocus.
I am Brendan Doherty. We hope to see you next Thursday.